As always, we begin by breaking an egg against a flat surface, never against the side of a bowl. We don't want to push any shell fragments into the egg itself, so break the egg into a glass dish and examine it for shell fragments, blood spots, and impurities before it disappears into the flour. Then, add your flour and your salt to the bowl. 2 cups of flour makes the equivalent amount of noodles as a typical 12-ounce store-bought package, which is usually enough for 4 to 6 people. I'm making half that amount here. So we're going to start with the basic formula, which is 1 egg, or 50 grams, to 1 cup of flour, or 120 grams of flour. Mix the flour and egg in the bowl with a rubber spatula, wooden spoon, or your hand. We're going to have to add some tiny amounts of water depending on the type of flour, the altitude where you are, and the weather. It's much faster and easier to mix it in a food processor if you have one. If you're making a large quantity, you can use a stand mixer with the paddle attachment. Mix it in the food processor until it begins to clump together like dough. Then test it by seeing if you can pinch it and squeeze it together. It should tear apart again without being flaky. If it's too flaky, add 1/2 teaspoon of water at a time and blend again. It should look like couscous or coarse cornmeal when it's the correct consistency. Then dump it out and squeeze it into a ball. It should be pretty firm, almost hard, and it should not be sticky. If you fold it over and try to press it against itself, it shouldn't stick. This is not the kind of dough you'll be kneading. Make 1 cup balls, approximately tennis ball size. Wrap them in plastic and flatten them slightly so they cool quicker. Then put them in the refrigerator or the freezer. Once they're cold and hard, take them out, and using a hand grater, grate them onto a towel. In the old days, a whole family would each grate a few balls over a big tablecloth. Spread the noodles out on the tablecloth so that they dry out quicker, and let them dry out overnight. Once they're dry, dump them onto a sheet pan, spread them out, and put them in a 350 Fahrenheit degree oven for 5 to 7 minutes. Watch closely that you don't burn them. You just want to turn a lot of them a nice golden brown. Then take them out and store them in a plastic bag for up to a year until you're ready to cook them. When you're ready to cook them, boil plenty of water, add some salt and a little chicken bouillon to the water for flavor. Boil them for about 11 minutes, testing to make sure that they're soft and chewable. Then dump them into a strainer and run cold water over them to stop them from cooking any further, and to rinse off any gluten so they won't stick together in clumps. While the cooked farfel is draining in the strainer, cut up mushrooms, cut up onions, and sauté them in butter or margarine for dairy-free. You could also use chicken fat or meat fat, or even a flavorless vegetable oil. Olive oil tastes good, but it's a strong flavor, and there was no olive oil available in Eastern Europe during those days. So olive oil will change the flavor of the dish, and it will no longer be farfel. Coconut oil, while certainly not traditional, has a flavor very close to butter, and it's a healthy alternative that will keep the farfel flavor. Now you can eliminate the mushrooms if you don't like them, but the mushrooms are as much a part of the dish as the noodles. So this is a really great dish if you have some really great mushrooms, like shiitake or portobellos. In any case, you want to fry the mushrooms and the onions until there is no liquid left from them in the pan, and the mushrooms and the onions have brown edges. They should be bubbling in oil only and fried well done before adding the noodles. If there's any water in the pan or on the noodles, when you add the noodles, they will steam a little and become mushy. Mushy potatoes, good. Noodles, not so much. So make sure there's only oil in the pan when you add those noodles. Then add the noodles, turn the heat down to very low, stir the noodles around so they're completely coated with the oil, and have onions and mushrooms well distributed. Cover the pan to keep it warm until ready to serve.